dreams do come true.
Where did what? You know, Putty was. When Putty left the chat. Wait, hold on 1 second. I don't know what happened. All along, she was there a second. It was like, blip. Putty, what happened?
I don't know. The man above said not tonight.
Yeah.
It said not tonight.
It's covered for the win. It's covered for the
cancelled.
You know what it was funny? What? The man upstairs says not tonight. Travesty's taking over the theme song.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome to Family Affair with the crazies. Alstallio, Mideyah, putting Travesty, and I don't know. What's it called? Okay, question quickly. Do we think kids should be taught to respect their elders?
Of course.
Yes, and vice versa.
Yep, I agree.
I do believe. Sorry, I would like to say on this one, being one of the elders, I really believe that it should go both ways, because what I don't like is a lot of older people believe that children should just automatically respect them, regardless of how they would treat the younger person or the child. I disagree with that totally. I believe that it works both ways. Older people must learn to respect children. Children must learn to respect elders. It works both ways.
Right.
Yeah.
I think generally the parents then again, that's stupid to say, because a lot of parents don't respect their kids and think it's got to be a authoritarian relationship.
Yeah.
But I think it's in a lot of cases they do respect their kids. But I think the problem is with parents, they give the kids probably a little bit too much respect and too much freedom, and then it allows
I don't think that's just the
contradict.
I don't think it comes under respect. Sorry, Travesty. I don't think that comes under respect. I think that comes under leeway. Too much leeway.
Okay.
The respect is the thing that a lot of parents actually don't do to their kids. They don't have that respect for the children. They look at children as just being there. A lot of parents actually just look at them there. Some of them even look at them as Betty Davis said once, and I quote, she said, her father said children are a unnecessary evil. And some parents actually look at their children that way, but there are also a lot of parents who do love their children and do respect their children's boundaries, wishes, and the rest of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, then good. If your child is going crazy, what do you do when your child's going crazy? Because there's always this age at 2 and 3 where they get really crazy and it's challenging your authority. So to speak.
Yeah. Well, the first thing you should do is let them get out of their system whatever temper tantrum they're going in, but within reason. I mean, when I say allow them to scream, shout, whatever. Don't allow them to become violent in it. For example, throw things at you or bite you and want to fight you. Don't allow that. When it starts to get to that sort of level, then you will have to sort of put your foot down and say, look, I've allowed you to get out of your system whatever's bothering you. You can either start to calm down and try and relate to me what's bothering you, or you can continue with this tantrum, but you're going to be left on the naughty step or somewhere where you're just on your own dealing with it until you feel that you can calm down. Simple as that.
The naughty step.
But I'm not going to go to the extreme if they just don't listen. I'm not going to go there. I know you want me to go there, but I'm not going to go there. It's spelled S-N-A-K-E.
S-N-A-K-E?
N-A-K-E.
Oh.
Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on because I'm scared of this word. A scary word. Anyway, what's the topics? Who's going to start?
I think Travesty should pull one out of the hat tonight.
Would you? No.
You should already.
Travis is never prepared. Travis is never prepared.
Oh no! Because what I do, because I haven't got a split screen because I'm obviously on the phone. I can't see what the actual topics are. And if I go out of this screen, it closes you down.
Okay. So we'll let you off the hook. How about you, Pudding? Are you ready?
How does that even work out? Haven't we got the same phone, Travesty?
So can you switch between the screens?
Yeah, I'm still talking to you. I can see. Yeah, I do research while I'm on the phone and stuff as well.
Exactly. That's what you should be doing.
IT savvy.
Put his high tech in it.
Yeah,
too high tech.
I tried to be. All right then. Let's go with this one.
All right then. I'm gonna go with this one then.
Okay, go.
Go on, then.
Do you think the portrayal of a cartoon character matters? For example, should you be Asian to voice an Asian character, or be black to voice a black character?
Yes, I think so. And that's something that came up this week in Family Guy. You know that was Cleveland.
Oh yeah.
The guy stepped down because he said he should be a black guy voicing the black character, and not
it should
a
be
white person portraying.
Because it's like taking the mick.
Yeah.
I totally disagree with this one. I'll tell you the reasons. I do disagree because I feel like this has been set up so we can feed into it, and it's going to go back into that whole thing of segregation, and that's what I'm worried about.
You think?
Many years ago, I think this is a distraction.
You're a Republican now, is that what it is?
No. I honestly believe this is a distraction because this is what someone said on Twitter. If this is going to be the case, then, Herbert the pervert in Family Guy, that character, maybe we should get a paedophile to voice him then.
That's a bit extreme, though.
I think it is getting extreme, and that's what is kind of offensive because instead of going that way, you should think, all right then, what if we get a black girl to audition and be Sandy in Grease? Done. That's all you do. Diversity.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just thinking it's just a bit extreme in the case of, yes, I do agree in a sense that just give us an opportunity. You don't need to
I agree. That's all
wipe us all out. You don't need to wipe it out and be because now people are pinpointing and saying Black Lives Matter is now anti-white and being racist. And it's not that. We're on about equality, and that's what people are missing the point. If you're going to let an Asian person portray white, let a black person portray white then. Because a lot of people say when I was doing my voice acting back in the day, I didn't sound my colour. And of course I don't sound my colour because what stereotypically people would say sounds black, that's just down to an area. If you think about it, it's not down to, why you brought up in Oxford, hang on, you don't sound black. What does that even mean?
Right.
That's what really threw me off.
Yeah. I'm sort of a little bit with Pudding on this one. However, I'm just going to ask the three of you a question. If this question never arose, would anybody really care about the voicing? I'm on about the voicing itself.
I do. I think they should. Because it goes back.
I would have never noticed.
Well, I think it goes back to the time with the black and white minstrels.
Yeah.
Is it any?
No.
Black and white. Wait there.
I was saying stick with it because I was going to say I agree with Pudding in the fact that it should be given equal opportunity instead of using white people tarred down with black faces, or what they used to do, use a white man and tanned him to say he was Asian back in the day. Give everyone an opportunity to do the role that is made for them. But with the voicing, I'm not so sure because with the voicing,
isn't it all acting?
No, because you can't see the person who's doing the voice.
Yeah, but you'll know though.
Let me give you an example, Alstallio. A white guy and a black guy can both fake an American accent if need be. I can fake an Asian voice if need be. So I don't think the voice part actually matters. However, I do think if you're going to see a play, see a film, then yes, I agree. A black person should act the black character, not a white person tarred down or voice or a black character whitened up. I think that should be, they should use the proper person for the proper role that's written. That's just my take on it.
I would like to add to this because I did a bit of research about this and because I'm quite passionate about this topic. When you think about it, 9 times out of 10, voice work is cartoon. Do you agree? It's make-believe.
Yeah.
So if I just read out the meaning of cartoon, a simple drawing showing the features of its subjects in a humorous, exaggerated way, especially a satirical one in a newspaper or magazine. So to me, that's saying that a cartoon can be whatever your mind set it to be.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be, oh, I'm listening to this person. This person's definitely got to be a black person, because let's just go, for instance, what our projects we've been doing over the past 3 months. You would not listen and think, oh, that person's black, that person's Asian, this person's that. You wouldn't think that.
Exactly. The only
because
reason
all
no,
neutral.
because we've said it.
Exactly. And I like that element of when it comes to voice work. And that's why I was very drawn to it, because back in the day, I didn't get the roles of Sandy in Grease or a major part in Hairspray, because it's all white. It's all white or any other race but black. But when it came to voice work, I was top dog, because I could do American, I could do Scouse, I could do this, I could do that. And, you know, it was more of a range, and there was more for me to work with.
Pudding, did you just say you do American? Could you do American male voice?
I did do a Southern American accent, remember? I thought you came to see me about 12 years ago now.
I didn't realise that Alstallio's reading my mind. Anyway, back to the seriousness of it all. Anyone?
Well, like I said, what I was going to say was, I think it's something called whitewashing in it, and that's basically casting practice in the film industry, in which, and even though you might, voice acting comes under acting. So, casting practice in the film industry in which white actors are cast as non-white roles. Like I said, I think, the thing is, what happens with white people, when they get a role as a black person, they don't have the sensitivity behind it. That's the issue I have. You know, I think when they say it in their way, they make it a little bit more too extreme, sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if you know what I mean by that. But,
you know, I understand, Alstallio.
I do understand as well.
I was going to say, when, obviously, when a white person takes on a black role, they make it sound more like they're going back to the slave days.
Yeah, they do the extreme versions of the black people.
Slave versions of us.
Yeah.
And that's why I disagree with both Pudding and Mideyah. That yes, there should be roles which, even if it's envisaged in a cartoon form, that character should be black, then why shouldn't the black character always play that role? If it wasn't,
I agree.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? If it wasn't,
I do agree.
Obviously, and that's thus this creates more opportunity for our black people to have more roles given to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they've been created for black people.
Yeah,
there's no use having these cartoons with diverse characters, but yet all the
voice actors are white. It's not fair.
Just be like the Simpsons.
But this is what they said, though.
And
they
Family
also
Guy
said,
too.
Yeah.
This is what they said. Also, what I read up on Twitter, it was hot this week. Honestly, reading some of the stuff, and they basically said, instead of looking at the character, it's the writers. If you haven't got Asian or black writers, you're not going to get that black
diversity,
and Asian feel. You're not going to get that diversity. So they said you have to revisit the producing and the illustration, all of that, before we could actually get to the characters.
Yeah, because
that's been a bit biased. Sorry.
No,
Sorry,
it isn't.
No. I was just going to say. Yeah,
wow.
I was only going to say that I am a writer myself. I may not be a well-known writer, but I can write for any race. So
no, you can't.
No, you can write. No, the actors have got to carry it off.
Yes, the actors have got to carry it off. But
you
can't write for every.
Look at the writers. They were saying, listen to what Pudding said. You got to go back to the people who've written the plays or written whatever. I can write it. I then need the proper race to deliver it. So I would put it back at the people who are delivering it.
Obviously,
if that's the sense,
yeah.
Sorry. If that's the sense, then there's a style of acting you can do, which is method, where you actually go and visit. Like if I wanted to play like a white person that was addicted on crack, I'd have to go and invest my time in that sort of lifestyle and then bring it to the table. So you've got to do your research. And then I do it regardless anyway when it comes to any acting, because I want to have the best put out there, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So don't blame the writers again.
Again, with the writers, I think it is the writers as well, the casting people, and the writers.
They have an influence, don't they?
Yes, they do. And obviously, when you are casting white characters as a black person, they're more it's the racist jokes and like direction they come with. It's because they're not actually black people saying those racist jokes. Because yes, it's funny to take yourself in a comical way, but when it's about your race, is it as funny?
No,
not constantly.
No,
I wouldn't want to be doing the voices for Family Guy, and I'm constantly they're being racist towards me.
Yeah.
Same with The Simpsons. That's what I mean. And I'm thinking, is this the only worth I've got as a character in this show? So so that's why I agree that if somebody writes a character and that character in their mind is going to be black, then a black person should always play that role, unless specified.
Yeah, I think so too.
You know what I mean?
True. So,
do we change your mind, Pudding?
No, I'll be honest.
With me, I
am not good enough.
with me, the only thing was the question was asked. Did it matter? It doesn't matter. However, I agree with your points, Travesty and Alstallio.
Yeah.
You have very valid points.
Yeah,
that's how I would answer that one.
Yeah. It is true. Like, does it really matter?
Because if we keep thinking it doesn't matter, then this Black Lives Matter movement doesn't matter either.
No. You can't put it in the same category at all.
No,
it's not that.
It's not that.
This is all we have.
Remember, this is a make-believe world.
Well, this is what I mean.
This
is what I mean. If you're just saying that it doesn't matter that we haven't got roles, we don't get to voice our roles.
No. It matters if we get a role or not. It's just about
in this thing, you say the character matters.
Listen, to the people,
matters.
Travesty. To the people who are listening, if they're just interested in the show, they're not going to take on board who's behind the voice. Not really. That's what I meant in that context only.
Think of radio as well. Think of radio.
When I'm enjoying the show, I'm not thinking what colour's speaking it or whatever. I'm just enjoying the show.
Because, you still, just like Pudding does her research. That's what you do. When you enjoy something, you research it. You see who's behind it, who's doing this writing, who's speaking, who's the voice. Of course, people are interested in the voice.
Yeah, I did the research just to see, and I'm like, oh, it's that person. Oh, okay, then that's what I'm like.
Oh, yes, that is true, because I do bring up characters when I'd like to. Yes, I do. However, I wouldn't have noticed it until you've brought it up. So
yeah, because I didn't.
Bringing it up now, I would more be inclined to say, I think the right character should be given to the right colour should be given to the right characters that they want them to be.
Yeah, because remember when you used to listen to was it BLM back in the day? And Jezza? I'm sure you would have if you had your mobile phone now, you would have researched to find out who this Jeremy Clarkson was.
Yes,
is it Clarkson or Clarkson?
It's Jeremy Kyle, yeah,
that's it. You would have researched to find out who's this geezer who's always on this show, and his voice sounds so nice on the radio. You know what I mean? So you listeners do research.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? So it's important that you portray the positive.
Well, on the flip side, then imagine you went for a role, Travesty, and so you went for a role.
And it was for a black person and a white person, got it. I'd be vexed.
No. I was going to say,
good question. That's a good
one. You'd be vexed.
No, I'm just saying.
You wouldn't say, it doesn't matter.
If someone put you as a white woman, would you be offended and would you decline it? Or would you see it as oh, I'm part of the show, I've got an opportunity. They think I've got a brilliant voice that matches this character. Would you be offended or not? Would you take the opportunity?
I think I don't. You know what? I think I'd be honoured that I got the position, because obviously I get to play somebody who's white. But again, I wouldn't be true to myself, because if this ever takes off and say you get movie rights or filming rights, who's going to play me then? Then I've just done myself out of a job anyway. So for me to take on that role, I've got to think seriously about its future prospects.
But then,
am I going to be able to play the role in the film? No, I'm not.
On the flip side, Travesty, on the flip side,
it's cartoon.
Went to film. No, I was going to say, if you went to film they could have liked your voice enough. They would have changed the character to a posh black woman.
That's what they can do.
Never
They do
Named
that.
Erica.
Never rule it out.
Yeah.
They do that. They've
that.
done that for a few characters on
Yeah.
Family Guy. They've done it specifically for a person.
Yeah.
Or
Oh, yeah.
Very interesting topic.
remember, it's a cartoon. Cartoons are make-believe. So really, the illustrators, the producers, the directors, they can make it what they want. It's all about having enough research and, you know, if they really want to push it, because you can. If anything, they could make the whole entire Cleveland show black if they wanted to.
They actually pretty much. I'll just look at their cast. Only the guy who did Cleveland's voice. He was white, but the rest were all black. So, I mean, that was a pretty decent example of things.
There's a little spin-off, innit? Like his own little show.
But it didn't last long though.
Of course it doesn't, never does. Because you know why that is? Because the writers don't have black writers in there.
Yeah, that's what I think so, yeah.
Write for, and they haven't got the black humour or the black comedy we're looking for. You know what I mean? As black folk, so...
I'd love that, though, if they had more
think being
black
racist
on it.
Yeah, they think by just being racist and they're racist there, that's funny enough. We can just keep laughing at that.
Yeah,
or
doing the stereotypes, you know, like,
I mean?
Black people don't have their parents, their dad's not around, or whatever, you know, that's
stuff like that. It's just the same old crap, innit?
Yeah.
It's not funny, so that's why things like that won't last.
No.
But I like to watch Tyler Perry anyway. He always puts black people in a positive light. More time.
Yeah, Tyler Perry. Isn't that what it is? Isn't that Mideyah?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what?
You know what? Listen. Before you all start that, his is Mideyah, isn't it? Mideyah or something.
Yes.
Mine is, no, get it right. It's Mideyah. It's a yardy word of saying I'm here. Mideyah. Understand the cliche.
Anyway, shall we move on? I think we've...
Yeah.
What was the next topic?
Should parents persist on trying to help adult children who are continually on the wrong path, or should they lead them to it?
Didn't we have this last week? Wait there, didn't we have
No,
this
we've
already?
not had this one. No, we've not had this one.
No.
I'm sure it was. This sounds like one of your topics.
No.
So it's the same topic. You just changed the wording.
No. You're mixing it up with should parents intervene in their adult relationships. That's a different issue.
It's the same foolishness.
Yeah, I'm talking.
We'll answer it anyway.
Yeah, I'm talking about adult children who you've given them advice, you've raised them to do the best that they can, and then they've gone out there and they could, for instance, let me give you examples, they could turn into criminals, and you've helped them out time and time again, and they just keep persisting on being a criminal. At what point do you walk away and say, enough, I've got to turn my back on that child? Even though, remember, it's your child, regardless of the age, it's your child. Now answer it. Travesty.
I think you should never walk...
a criminal?
No. I don't think you should ever turn your back on your kids. With the few exceptions, obviously. I think you should always try and support your kids, because I think when everyone else gives up on them, the only people they ever have at the end of the day is their parents, and that's how it is.
Yeah.
So in the end, it doesn't matter what a kid does, because a mother's love will always go over everything, even if the kid blows up the whole school or whatever. The mom's still gonna say, "I love him. He's still my child," you know. So I think she needs to stay strong, with the few exceptions.
What about he needs to stay strong too? The fathers too.
Yeah, the fathers too. Yeah, the fathers definitely too. Yeah. I can't really talk because I haven't done it. I just know that I would try my best, with a few exceptions, and I'm going to keep saying that because there's some things I probably could never forgive.
Yeah.
So
my kids did.
So would you, if it became detrimental to your health, would you say, you know what, this is enough? I've got to choose my health over the child doing the wrong all the time and bringing the trouble to my door all the time. I'm having to clear up the mess all the time. I love them, but they're driving me to the edge of destruction mentally, physically. No answer that one.
But it's just not children, are they? You're obviously talking more like adult children.
You're talking about adults?
Because you love your children regardless of their age.
Well, I think once you get to a certain age, and if they're still bringing certain contentions to your doorway, I think really and truly, if they can't understand that it's not good for their parents' health, then themselves should take themselves out of the situation. But because you're only going to push it until that person's no longer there and can't turn their back anyway, because they'll be gone.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think it's up to the parent to say to the child, listen, I'm always going to be there for you, but I can't keep doing this anymore. And then if the child doesn't take heed, then it's the parent's fault if they drop dead.
I think you got to just keep giving the kid warnings. I think you got to give your children warnings and say, look, it's like going back to the question I asked first, the respect thing. Now, if my kids who are young don't listen to me, and when I tell them, look, it's getting too much, or the mom says it's getting too much, and they continue not to listen to me, there's going to be repercussions. As simple as that. Okay, then we're not going to take you to the toy store, or we're not going to do this, or you're not going to get your phone, or etc. etc. Okay, with adults you can't really do that, but you got to say, okay, look, I really love you, and I'm going to, if you need me for anything, I'm going to have to stop seeing you for a while, and that's it. You got to remove yourself out of the equation, so it's
respect, Tenny.
For protection, and then hopefully that will kick the kid into gear where he thinks, oh man, actually, I still want to see my mom or my dad. If he doesn't, then you're at an impasse, innit? You have to think, okay, who's going to move first? And you could still stay in contact with your children. You just don't, it's like you don't, just because you don't want to see them. You got to see them anymore. Yeah, you just got to see them in a different way. You got to kind of like, okay, when we meet, I don't want to hear nothing about your problems. I just want to meet you. We eat, and then you leave, and that's it. I wanted to keep our relationship professional, because I think you can have a professional relationship with your kids too. Professional might be the wrong word, but you got to make sure it's a healthy relationship. You know what I mean?
It's a healthy relationship.
It's the same when you're married with somebody, and you know that you've come to the point where you just hate each other's guts. Or maybe you stay around because the kids are there, or whatever reason, financial. You kind of say, okay, look, we're going to try and get through this together, because there probably is no point, or it's going to cost us too much to part. So you keep the relationship professional or respectful or healthy. That doesn't mean you're always going to be like doing things together and trying to like make amends or trying to heal what's happened, because that might never happen. You may never be able to heal it, but you can always like say, okay, look, we can be like this as we are. We see each other, we keep respect, we eat dinner together, we break bread or whatever he's saying, and then we do our own thing. I think that's what it's got to be, and that's the only way I think.
And then, being parents yourself, I'd like to ask you this: how would you handle when they guilt trip you?
Who's going to guilt trip you? That's something you got to deal with.
As parents, if your child is guilt tripping you, how would you get out it if you do feel guilty, or you feel...
don't let them get you guilty.
You don't let them. No, you don't let them.
Play stupid.
You gotta. I think in that area, that's a bit of a grey area there. I think that's them. Is it rejecting? They're rejecting their responsibility.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're rejecting their responsibility, and that's not good, and that's not a healthy relationship, because as an adult, we're all adults in here. You've got to take responsibility for your actions from a certain point. Especially if it's repetitive and it's kind of like a systematic sort of, I'm in trouble with the police again every 2 weeks or whatever. When is it going to stop? That's for you. Mommy or daddy weren't there. Mommy and daddy never made them decisions. So you have to take accountability for your own actions.
And stop being so easily manipulated.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, because you can't be gullible in this evil world we live in. And if you allow people to take advantage, there's no respect for you anymore. They're just taking the pee, to be fair. It's not about you anymore. It's about them and what they need from you. And as soon as your use runs out, how much do I really need you?
Yeah, very true.
So,
very true. So you see, that was not the same topic as before.
You're gonna let it go. That's another thing you're gonna do. You're gonna learn to let things go. Let it go. Just let it go. The more you hold on to things, the more you stay in the bad situation, if you ask me. That's what happens.
It's not the same topic because we answered it differently.
Oh, you're just trying it. You're trying it.
I don't know. Chokers.
Okay.
Travesty, since you're so on it, you can... Oh, no, you didn't do it. Was it Pudding or it was you did the last topic?
I did the last one. I don't care who reads it, though.
Go on, then.
Are members of the LGBTQ plus movement the unsuspecting allies, and do they have the ability to make change in the fight against discrimination?
I'll be thinking about this, and I think they do, man. I think they're the guys who are gonna, because they're the ones. Remember, think about it. The LGBTQ plus movement people, they're the ones who, when you offend them, they can revoke the most change. You know what I mean? I find that when you say something with the LGBT, they're like a movement by itself, and they were all also united. I mean, that's the only group of people who are actually united is the LGBTQ plus movement people.
You know what that is?
Accept them on themselves, because some of them are like, I'm lesbian, I'm gay, no, you're bi, no, you're you know. But when it comes down to it, though,
they are very accepting.
Yeah,
they are. But this is because we, as people of this community, already have laws passed in Parliament to protect to protect certain sexual orientation and gender assignment, anything like that. It's already covered by laws already. And unlike normal discrimination and institutionalized racism, there is a law obviously against discrimination, but it's actually proving racial discrimination without somebody actually coming out and saying the N-word or something like that. It's hard to prove that they're being racist against you. So yes, if we took insight from the movement in regard to the LGBTQ movement, you would obviously learn a lot, because they have overcome a lot of barriers from it being, like we've spoken in previous podcasts, from it being back in the 1970s, 80s, and stuff like that. You know what I mean? They've come a far way from now being able to get married to the same sex partner and not having to assign yourself a gender. They've moved leaps and bounds, and this is due to activists and activism from certain groups. And you know, the only thing that separates the LGBTQ from the Black Lives Matter movement is that the LGBTQ affects everybody. Obviously,
that's what I mean.
Racism only affects the blacks and somebody we call out the minorities. But LGBTQ, doesn't matter what colour you are, every single race has got that community running through it. And it's just like being born black. You're born into it. So it's just finding acceptance, I suppose. So yeah, I think they are. But because of the BAME community is so slow on the uptake of the LGBTQ movement, I've seen a few posts on Facebook where people have tried to highlight that, to sort of throw it that black people are evil because they don't accept the LGBTQ plus movement. Yes, it's because it's not taught in our family circles or communities.
And it's not all black either.
Yeah, and it's all hush-hush. So we're not as accepting as the British people more are. Do you know what I mean? Because in our culture, it's sort of hidden and it's suppressed. But so it's an awkward one. But I think, yeah, if we did sort of use them as our allies, this movement would be a lot more stronger.
Listen, I've got my other take on this one as well.
Okay.
The reason why they have, and I'm going to use the word so much power to make change, is because most of the government are part of it anyway. Because if you look at anything that's legalised, it's always legalised because there's a lot of them in the government doing it. So you think about it, homosexuality, gayness, whatever, was legalised because most of the government and their families and whatnot were involved in it. So it became legal. So of course they're going to have the power to change. How many black people are in the government? That's why Black Lives Matter may never become as big and as successful as the LG, etc., because I can't pronounce all of it. And
LGBTQ.
I'm sorry. What is it? LG what?
BTQ.
Whatever. Yeah. What's the Q stand for?
It's like
questioning, or I don't know. I thought it was queer, but it's not.
It's queer. It is queer.
It is queer. Okay.
Yeah.
So you sit and think about it. If you're going to compare Black Lives Matter with this group, there's no chance because there's not many black people in the government, so they're not big enough to make change. That's my intake on it, and the only intake on it.
Okay.
No, I don't agree with that.
I do agree with that because listen,
you can agree with that. It's you agree with yourself.
Your analysis, yeah.
You get me? So of course you agree with that. My counter argument.
Listen to what I'm saying. Anything that the government allow to get big and prosper, it's because they have a hand in it. I'm not wrong. Just do your research.
No, look, listen. The only reason I think the LGBTQ movement has moved faster than the racial movement is because that movement has been ongoing since legalized in the 80s, just for acceptance and just to be able to do certain things. Do you know what I mean? Like get married and adopt and stuff. I understand that, but people behind us, yes, but behind the scenes, activists are there constantly writing letters, getting petitions signed, doing marches, things that we don't see. Now, with the racial movement, that's only come to light again after the last riots in the 80s. What is everybody?
Go back to the 60s and
wait there. Yes, because what's happened since then? Nothing.
Listen,
wait there. I'm finishing. All right then. There's been more killing than anything else, and that's the only reason why it's blowing up now. But really and truly, from the riots in the 80s or the 60s, people should have still been rioting and thinking until our movement was just as important, and we probably would have progressed a lot more now.
You would have
because we keep forgetting
got the backing of the governments in the world. That's my point.
And that's what they're doing now.
If they're not going to give enough backing, or they haven't got the people that are suffering in there, it's not going to work. It will go so far, and it will get downtrodden. You'll see. Just do research, and you'll see what I'm at. Probably you're not.
All right then.
Where I'm coming from.
So what about in the old days when women weren't allowed to vote? How do you think they got the vote? There was no women in the government.
They did get women in the government in the end.
There was no women. No, not until Margaret Thatcher. But before then, there was no women in the government, and they were getting beat up. They were being imprisoned.
I'll tell you why.
How do we actually know?
You.
History's always rigged, so always the market.
It's the suffragettes.
No,
the suffragettes.
Listen. Who started up the suffragettes?
The feminist movement.
No. Who started them up? I want you to tell me who actually started them up. Was it black people?
No, women. Just women
alike. Were they black women?
Working class women.
No, were they? I want you to tell me what colour they were. Who started it up?
I can't go into that because obviously it benefited all women. Just women.
No.
This was a movement for women first.
Listen, Travesty, it doesn't matter how you want to become cantankerous on this one. If you look back, it was actually white women that started it up. It did help out black women eventually. But when it first came out, it wasn't about all other women. It was about white women. So my point is, remember, this is a white man's world. So they are going to prosper regardless. No, the government is majority white. So what I'm saying is this is why it prospers. It doesn't matter how you want to go around the corner. I'm going to call a spade a spade. The only reason these people get into bigger positions and progress through life is because the government's majority is white, and the other one is a lot of them are involved in whatever the people are trying to get out there. So Black Lives Matter ain't going to prosper like the suffragettes did. It's not going to prosper like the LGB whatever, GT whatever. It's not going to prosper the same because the majority has to be white for it to work, or in the government. I'm sorry, but that's my take, and that's my only take. Agree, disagree, it's still the truth.
But I want to know, all right then, all I want to know is what is the Black Lives Matter movement? What are they hoping to achieve?
You know what? Actually,
and
I think equality. I would say the Black Lives Matter movement is kind of has like two different.
Yeah, I was gonna say because we've already got an equality bill.
Yeah.
Has a few agendas, doesn't it?
Hang on, Travesty. You've got an equality bill, but it's not come into play yet, has it? Show me where it's come into play.
1978?
No. You're not listening to what I'm saying. It might have been passed in law, but show me where the equality's gone on. Show me. It hasn't. Remember what you said? If you black woman and white woman goes for a job, the most likely the white woman's going to get the job. There's a big example. So it doesn't matter the fact that it's been passed and it's supposed to go that way. It's not actually acting out, is it?
Yes, but you can actually go to tribunals.
So what I'm saying,
if you can prove that.
Yeah, but you still having that big struggle. Now you think about it, as you say, the gayness has been passed. How long has it been passed, roughly? And look, straight away, they're getting bigger jobs than people before. Think about it.
For gayness.
I think the word is sexuality.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, there's all kinds of cross movements going, isn't there? There's the women's rights, there's obviously the gay rights, there's the black rights.
Go away, research it, and then you'll understand what angle I'm actually coming from. Even if the Black Lives Movement is progressing, it's not going to go as big as the other groups you've just mentioned, because, as you said, they're in the minority.
So, I think it's too early to say this.
Yeah, well, at this moment, it's going to take...
Yeah, it's too early.
It's not too early, because you think about it, back in the 60s, they did the big thing there, and look what happened. Look how smart the FBI and them were. Look what they did to break up that original movement. Think back and research it.
The Panthers,
they did other things. They started to arrest them, lock them up. So it broke it down. So it's progressed slowly because they intervened.
But it's different now because of social media.
We hope it's different now.
It's hard to sort of...
That's probably like trying to sense everything.
Listen, Travesty, in this world, they'll always do something to make it look like they're doing change, but the change will never be big enough.
Yeah.
Because they've had hundreds and hundreds of years to do this, and the change is always minimal when it comes to black people. Whether we want to accept it or not, it is reality. Sorry, but it is. No, it sounds sad, innit? But it's true.
We're being a bit cynical. I'm just going to sit back and watch you play out.
And me, I've been watching it for years. I've been watching it a bit more years than you have, and I've seen it played out still very slowly.
Still very slowly, but
it's not good enough.
It's time for change at the end of the day. People have had enough. Everybody's had enough.
Yeah, well, we hope.
You know what I mean?
We hope.
It's not just us. And I would have thought, going back 20 years now, there's a lot more integrated family members than there was 20 years back, 30 years back, than there is now. That's you know what I mean? So, and now they know that it actually affects them too, their grandkids, their daughters' kids, their sons' kids. It affects a lot more people than it would have when, like, granddad would have came over.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Where you would have had no families integrated, you would have had whites on one side, blacks on the other. Now a lot more mixed parentage and mixed families, that it affects a lot more this race argument. So there's got to be change. There's got to be change.
Yeah. Now, this question I just wanted to ask while we're talking about this race thing, I want to hear your opinions on this. Do you believe that a white person that dates a black person and has mixed race children, listen, do they suffer the same racism as us?
Yes.
And now I'd like to explain to me how you work that out, because I don't see how.
Because they'll be called, look, I know from living in Germany, people who are mixed race, they still get called the N-word.
Right. Yeah.
So even though they don't identify with being full black, you know, they'll still be grouped.
I'm on about the white people. Because the reason why I don't agree is the same, because this is my honest opinion on it. A white person who chooses to date outside their race, if they get racism at them, that is a choice. We don't have a choice because we are born the way we are. So I'm sorry, I don't agree at all. If you are dating, you've decided you're dating a black, that's your choice. You've got to take.
I don't think you should be punished. I don't think you should be punished for going out with a different colour.
No, it's not a punishment. It's not the same. They can never be on the same level as us when we've been picked on racially. It's not the same because
I understand.
You weren't born that colour. So
obviously,
you've come into it somewhere down the line, so you cannot experience the same as us. Your children may do.
That's what I mean.
You don't. I'm on about the white person.
But why would you think it's going to be less of feeling bad if you hear somebody call that to your child who you love?
Not the child. I'm talking about...
No, you're not listening. You're not listening. If you're a white woman and your child's been called the N-word, why are you not going to feel really bad?
Of course, that's you're going to feel bad.
So how is that any less than how we feel when we're called into our face?
It's not
then
less.
You're saying that. You're saying, well, this is what I'm picking up that you're saying, that because they're white, they shouldn't feel that they feel as that they've been racially attacked as much as we have.
That's exactly what I said.
But Mideyah, not all of us as black people have been racially attacked. Not all of us.
But we're not talking about
some of us remain in our black communities where you'll never ever venture out or even mix with anybody who's white. So you'll never ever feel or have or be oppressed. So you can't say all black people because we're black through racism. That's untrue.
No, I said the ones that are not all, obviously not everybody has suffered racism.
Yes, I know. That's what I mean, and that's. I think it's the same on the flip side.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Unless you can emphasize with somebody and you've actually been through it yourself, or experienced somebody you love going through it, then I think it's just as bad as if you was being racially discriminated against yourself. For that white person too?
I don't agree. But I think we can agree to disagree, but I don't agree. I just don't see how you can feel my pain when you're only being picked on because you're dating the colour that's being picked on. If you weren't with that colour, you wouldn't be picked on. So how can you feel the same as me, who's being picked on just because of the colour of the skin of my skin? You cannot feel the same. You can empathise, but you cannot feel the same.
Alstallio,
I feel your pain. Yeah.
I would like to answer your question that you said earlier. Something about what is the Black Lives Movement hoping for? And we said equality. I'd say opportunity. We're definitely hoping for, and I feel like compassion as well, because me being a black female, if we get the same hurt as any other race, we're always looked at to be the stronger ones. We've got to be the ones to be the bigger person. And that's what I found, and I don't want that. You know what I mean? I want to be seen equal. I still have the same feelings. I still bleed the same.
So,
go on, say what you need to say, Travesty.
Come on, you need to get it out. Come on, Travesty. Hurry up, because you need to give my floor tomorrow.
What? I've actually forgotten what I was going to say.
No, I just wanted to answer Alstallio's question that you had from earlier. It was staying in my mind.
Yeah.
Right, great. Yeah, good. Then I think you guys have done your part for today.
Another passionate round.
It's another passionate round. I love it. I love it.
Me too.
Let's go around the table. We'll start with Travesty this week. What do we always start?
Why does she always get to start first? Why
okay, Mideyah, then you start, Mideyah.
Oh, my days, Mideyah.
Travesty, this is directed at you, Travesty.
Yeah.
Love you loads, but you'll never be as strong as me.
Oh, wow.
Oh, God. Is that a challenge?
No matter what love is, you should always try and learn more. Learn never stops. It never stops. We educate ourselves daily. And without the right research, you're not going to have the right information.
That's true. So get your research done on what I was saying.
If it's authentic research, man. I'm seeing some stuff and I'm thinking, oh my days, as if this was part of our history and we never knew, we never got taught that. So, so be careful what we read.
On a serious note, hopefully this world will become a better place. Things will progress in a positive light while there's life.
Yes. Pudding, you got anything? Did you say something? Last.
I would like to say we are still growing. I still want us to grow through what we go through. That's all I've got to say for this week.
Okay. And I'm going to say, remember, no one wins the race in racism. So let's just get together. And of course, all lives matter, but only when Black Lives Matter too.
Yes.
Good night, guys. Good night.
Good night, guys.
Good night. Bye.
Bye.
It's a dream, it's a dream, it's a dream come true. It's a dream, it's a dream, it's a dream for me and you.